What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So I want to re-drill this, but I have a bit of a dilemma that we got to work through first. So before we get into this, if you've watched my other videos, I had the Fatal Venom, and I did a 5-inch pin-up on it originally. It wasn't enough. So then we tried a 4-inch pin-up, and it was too much. So I'm like, whoa, okay. You know, that between 4 and 5, that's like, I think a 4.5 would have been, or a 4 3/4 would have been, you know, somewhere in that range would have been perfect for that ball, for me. But a 2-inch short pin on this Venom shock was way stronger than the 4-inch pin on the Pearl, the Fatal Venom. And I know it's a different cover stock, but it's the same exact core. Same exact core. That's the only reason I bring up that other ball. And I started to notice that the core and its RG number is really what you want to look at when you start determining your layout. Because some balls naturally want to get down the lane and some balls naturally do not. So you have to like kind of adjust it accordingly. But I was a bit confused with this 2-inch short pin, so I wanted to just draw it on a piece of paper so I could understand what I'm looking at here. So a quarter scale, or a prosect, I mean they call it a quarter scale because it's 1/4 of the bowling ball. And on that scale, it goes from 0 to 6 3/4. Okay, so divide that by 2, we have 3 3/8. That's the exact middle. So that's taking the core and sticking it at a perfect 45-degree angle the second it comes out of your hands. And as it's going down the lane, it's just going nuts trying to correct itself, creating tons of flare, creating more read and more hook. And I thought the short pin was supposed to be like weaker, more controllable. I don't know. That was kind of scary. So what I'm getting at, what I'm trying to do, is I want to put the equivalent of a 2-inch short pin, but just pin up, and see if there's a noticeable difference between short pin, pin up. That's all I'm trying to do. So I drew this little, handy dandy scale here, from 0 to 6 3/4. The middle, 3 3/8. Absolute strongest layout you can put on the ball. Then you start getting weaker this way, weaker this way. Here's the strongest. So if we measure from the center, or 3 3/8, over to 2, that's 1 3/8 away. So if this is short pin and this is pin up, I want to go 1 3/8 this way, and that gives us 4 3/4. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna go plug it, put a 4 3/4 pin up, and go try it, see what happens. So let's do it. Here we go. Short pin, pin up. Just like that. If I could do that in real life, I would not be here. Or would I? But anyways, there's the short pin. And no, I was not trying on the color match. Or was I? And There's the pin up. So to make this fair, you know, from the last time I tried it, I put the same polish on, and then I sanded it at the alley when I saw it was kind of, you know, it was kind of strong, and maybe if I sand it, it would make it a little less, but that wasn't the case. So I put the same polish on, and we're going to test out this short pin versus pin up thing. Let's go. All right, here we are. So, started off good. I was able to get it into the pocket, which I was not able to do with the short pin. So, I did get some strikes with it, but it didn't take long. It did not take long. I would say the only difference I saw between the short pin and the pin up was the pin up just went a little longer. That's it. It went a little longer, but it was every bit of as strong as the short pin layout. And then I wanted to see, you know, I want to throw another solid ball. So I went back to the Storm High Road Max and just lit it up. This freaking ball is awesome. I love this ball. Oh my god, it's so nice to throw. And I know this isn't about the Storm High Road Max, but the Venom shock just started overhooking, so I just was like, screw it. I'm just gonna create bad habits. I was throwing it as hard as I could to get it down the lane. I was off balance, and I switched back to this. Happy days. That was interesting. Very, very interesting. So, my whole goal here is to try to, you know, I hate drilling brand new balls and you're like nervous because you really want to get it right the first time. You don't want to punch a bunch of holes in your ball. It's not really good practice, but I mean, I guess if it's for educational purposes, then whatever. And hopefully I'm not the only one learning from this. So the High Road Max, and that's, you know, it's good to bring other balls into the mix here. So the Venom shock is a RG of 2.52, High Road Max 2.58. So the High Road Max just falls into the category of medium RG. Venom shock 2.52, that falls into low. The scale goes from 2.460 being low all the way up to 2.800 being high. So this little chart, basically, it shows me from 3 3/8 all the way down to 2-inch. That's danger zone for me. That's a no-go zone. You don't go there. And then from 3 3/8 to 4 3/4, that's also danger zone for me. So now I know, in the future, don't put the pin in any one of those, because you're probably not going to like it. But I want to see I really want to see what the whole fuss is about this short pin thing. So I do want to give it another try. I do have several balls that work good in the 5 to 6 1/8 pin up and pin down range. You know, up here, 5 to 6 1/8, whether it's pin up or pin down, but in that range. But I don't have anything, nothing, in the short pin range. And from what I saw, the short pin is kind of like another pin down. It's just earlier. So the combination, and now it makes sense because the combination of earlier and it was 2-inch, so it was pretty strong. That made it just hook crazy and miss the pins. And then we switched to a 4 3/4, which is the complete opposite way, the same distance away from the center, and it was just a little bit longer, and I was able to get into the pocket, but it was short-lived. As soon as I got some of that oil off the lane, it was like, see ya. So I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe a 1-inch short pin on that Venom shock. That would be the equivalent to a 5 3/4. So that should be fairly weak, but with the combination of early and the combination of the cover stock, see, this is where I got another little loop thrown at me. The cover stocks, I never, I used to take them into consideration when I drilled the ball, but then when I drilled the Storm High Road Max, I took it into consideration, and I went just a little weaker than I would normally go on a Pearl, and I noticed that I could have gone a little bit stronger, but I'm kind of glad I didn't, because that ball is working really good. But this Venom shock, if you compare the Venom shock to the Venom shock Pearl with a very similar layout, like, the Venom shock was way stronger. Because the Venom shock Pearl, we had a 4-inch pin, and it was strong, but it wasn't that strong. And we had a 4 3/4 on the solid. So that should have been like weaker, but it wasn't. It was a lot stronger. So I don't know. I'm just gonna keep messing around until I figure this out, all of it. I want to understand it, and I want to be able to just, okay, I'm getting this ball, and I'm putting that layout on it, and it's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be right. And if someone else needs help and they say, hey, I want a ball and I want it to do this, maybe I can help them out. But first, I gotta help myself out and figure it out. So if you'd like to help support the channel, you can go over to my Etsy store, Evans Woodworks with an X. I have a few bowling racks on there. The red oak one was just posted. And I actually did a little more digging into shipping. So if I was to ship to somebody in California, they want $110. And Etsy's saying that it's less with them. Like, that 110 is with them. It's more with other people. So, after I take the materials out, the shipping costs, the listing fee, and their little piece of the pie, I'm pretty much giving this away. Like, I'll be lucky if I make $75 off of it. And it took me an entire week. After work, come home every day and just go out to the shop and work on it. 1 week. 5 days. And a little bit of a Saturday. And then there's still packing, so God. That's why the $1,500 one is $1,500, because that thing took me an crazy amount of time. And these are the only two finished, like built, ready to use bowling racks you're gonna find on the internet. Everything else is, you can get a plywood rack from Amazon sent to you for $200, but you still have to build it, screw it together, glue it, sand it, finish it, put legs on it if you want legs on it. So it's either your time or my time. That's basically all it is. But if If you buy mine, you'd be helping me out so I can keep buying bowling balls. But not everyone's in the market for a bowling rack, and I get that. So all you gotta do is hit the thumbs up button. So yeah, that's it for this one, guys. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.